Hey everyone, it's Patrice again. I've been so frustrated with trying to do live streams. There's been technical issues from the get-go. You wouldn't believe some of the issues I've had with the video being upside down, with it being green, with it not showing, with there being delay in the matching of the lips to the actual audio. And then my live stream that I just did at 1 o'clock discovered that the audio was off. Oh, I think I'm getting too old for this. This is just so frustrating. But I thought I would do a quick recap on the no audio video stream that I just did about 35 minutes ago. This would be a much quicker version because I really wanted to share this information with you guys, and I pray that it'll work this time. Okay, I'm sitting down now at my chair and I'm holding the camera, so it might be a little shaky. But what I discussed was the name sensitivity reader and why some people don't like it. They don't like the name because it insinuates, in their opinion, that people are too sensitive or too politically correct. And so I don't have a problem with the name, but I can understand why some people might. So there are a few other names that sensitivity readers are known by that people don't have a problem with, and I wanted to share them with you. One of the names is targeted beta reader. And if you don't know what a beta reader is, authors use beta readers all the time. They're a group of people who read their manuscripts in its raw form before it's been edited. And what they are looking for are authenticity, character development, story, reliability, no holes in the story, stuff like that. And they'll get back to the author if they see something like that. And they're a really good tool for authors and for any creator, basically. And a targeted beta reader is basically somebody who does that, but as a sensitivity reader. It's the same thing. They'll look for, let's say that their niche as a sensitivity reader is mental illness, and they're reading a young adult story about the main character who has a depression issue or some other issues. They'll read it for authenticity. They'll let them know what's wonderful about the story and what needs improvement, and even misinformation that can be harmful to the community. So that's the same thing as a sensitivity reader. Another name that we're known by is targeted expert reader. Maybe you've heard of Lee and Low Publishing. They publish multicultural children's books, and they call it targeted expert reader instead of sensitivity reader, but it's the same thing. It's basically they're hiring somebody to read a book that focuses on a specific community that reader has intimate knowledge of. And it's the same thing that publishers do for fiction books. Let's say you write a book on how to build a tree house, and you've got all these steps, and you've got all these beautiful blueprints and everything else. However, you may have never built a tree house, or you're a novice at it. What every publisher does is sends out books that are fiction to experts, and that's why they call them targeted expert readers. And so in that instance, they would send it out to someone who's perhaps an expert treehouse builder, and have them look over the book to make sure that no steps have been missed, no big faux pas or anything like that. And now it's just becoming more normal in fiction writing as well. Lee and Low, I think, are pretty amazing because they work with children, and they realize that books have an extreme and lasting impact on kids. And if they released a book, let's say about Native Americans, and they showed them as running around, and they called them savages or something like that, like you see in these old movies from like the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. They're always calling Africans or Native Americans savages. If that was listed in the book, if that's how they describe Native Americans, they could perpetuate that stereotype, and that's actually racist. And so they want to make sure that they don't do anything like that, because it will have a lasting impact on a child's psyche. So they use it on a regular basis. Another word or phrase that you can call us, other than sensitivity reader, is diversity editor. And we read, or we write diverse books. I think that's the name of the blog. That's what they call a diversity editor. And a diversity editor, the same as a sensitivity reader, but it just sounds different for people. And it's the same exact thing. And people have less, they're not as upset, or maybe I shouldn't say upset, but they don't have as many issues with diversity editor or targeted expert reader than they do sensitivity reading. But we're all the same person. We all do the same thing. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about, is the names that we go by and what we do. And I did have one question prior that somebody had typed in, and they had asked a question about why do some people have issues with sensitivity reading the name, and it's basically because they feel that sensitivity readers may be censoring their work, which is not true at all. You could, if that were the case, then anybody who edited your book would be a censor. And, we know that books need to be edited. People, there's not a major publisher who will not use several editors on a book. So it's not censoring, but people just may not like the word. And so we've come up with all these other phrases that you can go by. But our whole idea is just to be another tool in the writer's tool belt, and to just share our intimate knowledge on the subject with people, and just putting positive things out there in the world. And I'm not saying that you can't write anything negative about a certain group, but just make sure it's not a misrepresentation or extremely harmful or stereotype or something like that. But that's about it. I hope I answered your question. And again, I'm sorry about all the technical issues. It is really annoying, and I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, it'll be smooth sailing from here on. Okay, you guys